Good evening. My name is Ross Rangel, and me and my classmates Connor, Burke, and Gina and Cappo will be talking about our company Kellogg's, who we chose to talk about training and development for tonight's presentation. A little introduction for Kellogg's. It was founded by John Hardy Kellogg and Will Keith Kellogg. 1906 is a pioneer time. The Battle of the Creek Toasted Cornflakes Company. That was something that they created within the company, which sparked the Kellogg's brand, and it really just made them really stand out amongst the competition. Kellogg's All brand was introduced during the earlier times, especially during World War II, and the W.K. Kellogg Foundation during the Great Depression, when we were seeing a lot of bad times. Kellogg's developed this foundation in order to encourage young kids to take courage during that troubled time. And you have the Kellogg's Raisin brand. You also had the Kellogg's Special K-Bars, which actually came after 100 years of commitment towards nutrition. This is what they celebrated with, which kind of is on an everyday go basis for people who want to travel and eat breakfast on the go. Next slide. So the plant we will be focused on for Kellogg's is the Fairfax District in Kansas City, Kansas. This was founded in 2003. The industry it's in is groceries and related products. It employs over 1,000 employees, and annual revenue is about $730,000. So, who we interviewed from the HR department at Kellogg's. Her name is Tiffany Hollinsworth. She is the Labor Relations Advisor. So for Q&A, we asked her 3 questions. First one being, what kind of training and development do you do for new and current employees to promote a safe work environment? Number 2 is, do you provide a development program that gives your employees opportunities to develop new skills and training for other job positions in your company? And the last was, how does your company ensure that the employees receive effective training and does not need additional training? So for the first one, do you provide a development program that gives your employees opportunities to develop their skills? Tiffany had this to respond with. Employees are encouraged to speak to their managers about development opportunities or positions they can be prepping for in their future. Where there's room for it, we're able to cross-train people accordingly. So with this little bit of information, we had to kind of tackle this in a different way, as it was more broad than it was narrow. So for this, we decided to go with more of a formal program. As you can see, we have extensive formal training programs such as classroom sessions, training programs online, on-the-job training, audio-visual, and simulations. For this particular company, we recommended the classroom session program. So classroom session programs, what it does and what we thought it was so beneficial for Kellogg's, it's training in a face-to-face environment. This gets the employees in front of the instructor in order to learn hands-on instead of through online or anything that may seem a little distant, so they can actually ask questions in person. The instructor obviously has a great benefit. He or she can use presentations, which are really helpful. Provide problem-solving solutions. This is something that we both believe is really awesome for this company. Problem-solving situations are typical throughout the day. You're always going to have something you have to solve. In order to put people in groups and teamwork, in order to understand, especially working at a Kellogg company where you have a lot of product lines going on, you have a lot of malfunctionings or just day-to-day things you have to check. Problem-solving are great especially for interaction. And obviously group discussions at the end. Good way for Q&A between the instructor and the employees, and this helps just really gain the knowledge and skills that they need in order to do everyday activities throughout their workday. The benefits for Kellogg's will be that it will promote a loyalty for the company. Employees will feel a sense of investment within them that the company's given them. That would definitely promote loyalty, and I think Kellogg's would really benefit from that. Cost savings is another big one. This is the most least expensive program that they can do. And then the last one is promote advancement internally. Internal customers are usually the core of what makes the company blossom the most. So this can definitely be beneficial not only just for the the employee, but also for the company itself. One thing that we would recommend that the HR at Kellogg's do is establish the objectives that they want to overall have in their classroom sessions. Employees should have a clear understanding of what their job role is. Learning objectives and how they will be measured. Measurement is, I think, a key factor in this. You want to be able to measure and evaluate how they are advancing their skills, how they are taking the knowledge that they're gaining and putting into their work. Resources are available and what the outcome of the class should be. Resources are definitely big. You want to be able to have all the resources available that you need. So it's really important that you have those. And then analyze and correct any flaws that exist in the program. This is definitely good for the HR department in order to see what they're doing right and what they seem to be doing wrong and what is helping their employees advance and seek opportunity. So again, involvement would be appoint an instructor, someone with the right experience in order to teach this class. Evaluate the training, which we talked about earlier. Confirm training methods. Everyone works a little bit differently. Everyone needs a certain way of doing things or kind of understanding things. So the HR can come up with really unique, different training methods in order to get out what it is they're trying to teach for the day or teach for the overall season. And then decide what needs to be covered. Employees want to know what they're learning about, what the opportunity presents, and HR should definitely take a role in that. And for that, I will pass it on to Connor.
Alright, my name is Connor, and I will be talking about the safety training and development program that Kellogg's has and what our recommendation was for them. As you can see, their answer is pretty long. So for the question we had, what kind of training and development do you do for new and current employees to promote a safe work environment? Tiffany said, safety is of paramount importance for us here at Kellogg's. We like to emphasize that early and often. New employees have a thorough new hire orientation that is rooted in safety. Employees meet the employee health and safety manager and his team of safety technicians, who are frontline communicators, advocates, and trainers for all things safety in our bakery. A variety of videos, tests, and simulations are given during orientation to ensure the new hires are taking in the safety information. Current employees have constant access to our safety technicians. If there is important information that is safety related, they are communicating it throughout the bakery in real time. There is also annual training we all must complete to keep the fundamentals of safety fresh. So as you can see, that was a pretty intensive answer. So for our approach on this, we kind of wanted to develop something a little more specific. So we had our job hazard analysis technique. So each job is broken down into basic elements, and each is rated for its potential for harm or injury. This is important because it can allow Kellogg's to display proper information to their employees about when they're using a more dangerous machine or piece of equipment than when they aren't. So they know that to be safer and more focused when they're around those machines. They should do this annually to account for changes throughout the year. So if they buy new equipment, they should do another job hazard analysis on it. If they change a role or if they change the layout of the kitchen or bakery, these all can amplify the risk for hazard. And finally, this should be done before their annual employee training. This is important because they want to have everything right for their annual employee training. So if they have old material but with new hazards, your employees aren't going to know exactly what's going on. So you need to be prepared. The other idea we had for Kellogg's was to have a technique of operation review, or a TOR. This is a method to determine which specific method led to past accidents. This is done by all parties, including the person who got injured, nearby employees, supervisors, management, and Kellogg safety technicians. From what Tiffany said, it kind of seemed like the safety technicians were the only people talking or advocating for their hazards or their safety. We believe that they should use every employee so they get real-time updates, and the safety technicians know exactly what is going on in the bakery. Instead of just seeing it, they can hear it and discuss it with those current employees. The first part of this TOR is to establish the facts. The facts are important because everyone has their own side to a story, and the person who got injured could have been messing around and not paying attention, and he could blame the machines, and Kellogg's could end up going into all sorts of scenarios. So when you get other employees saying, oh yeah, he was messing around, and you get confirmation of that, that is highly important, and that's why it's important to establish the facts first. And then after that, every party should discuss the facts and come up with the single biggest reason why this accident happened, and then come up with 2 to 3 other reasons why this accident happened. This allows you to see if it is a machine problem or if it is an employee jacking around. You have the proper information to fix this so the accidents don't happen again.
So my name is Gina, and I'm going to be talking about our last question. So we asked, how does your company ensure that employees receive an effective training and do not need additional training? She responded with, no formal policies here. We hold each other accountable, and we communicate with each other when we do not. Expectations are clearly communicated and talked about. Employees are expected to speak up if they do not take to the training they are receiving. If needed, we adjust the course to the individual. I think it's good that they are communicating and that's emphasized. However, the results of the training need to be formally evaluated. A good way to do this is to have post and pre-test before and after training, and surveys on training are actually good too, and just asking the employees questions, just having the supervisor ask the employee questions on how do you perform this function and things like that. And then if the manager decides that they think that bad performance is due to inadequate training, then they should do a needs assessment for the employee. So, like I said, some assessments are done through verbal, just word to mouth from the supervisor to the employee, or they could be more formal by giving tests. But these are some things that they need to look for. And number 1 is transfer of training. And this is the direct application from the skills they learned in training to the job. So this is something that, the supervisor can monitor and, just ask questions to their employees. And then performance improvements. So if, the company decided that they needed to give more training to their employees, and they did so, and they saw that there was, an improvement in performance, that could be a good thing, for the company. And then training and supervisor satisfaction, so how they felt about the training. So the trainee, it's important to know how the trainee felt about the training, because sometimes the employees might not want to speak up and tell their supervisor, hey, I think I need more training, I'm having issues. If you do the assessment and you have them take a test, then you can see, you know, if they actually do need more training, if they were satisfied with their training, or if they weren't satisfied with their training. So many times in organizations, they might not be satisfied with the trainer who trained them as well. And okay, so why is this good for Kellogg's? So measuring training would be a good thing because it would be very cost efficient. The work that is done is very technical, and so measuring transfer of training would be probably the best way, just to make sure that the employees are receiving an effective training. And supervisors, above all, they need to make sure that their employees are performing well in the performance evaluations as well. And if they see something, they need to make sure that it's not, you know, them acting up, but it's actually because, you know, a training, you know, an issue with the training that they received. And they can, like I said, do a needs assessment to see what employees need more training.